Hey everyone, welcome back to the Poplar Report. Well, Donald Trump is out there starting to look for people for his administration. I know the election is still a little bit away, another 24 hours before we'll even know anything at least, but he has opened up a web page where he is accepting nominations for the 4,000 positions. I'll explain more about how you can help him and participate. We have more impacts from the lithium fire in Missouri. Not good news there. Lots of toxins and poisons killing a lot of fish. You're not going to hear about that on the mainstream news for sure. A possible final hurricane may hit Florida or the Gulf Coast. We have a suspicious bridge fire in Ohio. Let's talk also about the issues with eggs, beef, and other food shortages. Let's jump into it. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade, and these are your updates that you guys are sharing with me about what's going on out there and getting those out to everybody in this community. Please do keep sharing your updates. Use that word update somewhere in your comment to get it to the right place, and we'll get it out to everybody else. Before we dive in, we do want to thank our sponsor, Genesis Gold Group. They help people who have retirement accounts to get out of gold, get into gold, silver, and platinum, out of stocks and bonds. So if you have questions about that, there's no obligation if you reach out to them. If you even get them to reach out to you, no obligations. You can always just say, it doesn't look like it's for me, and you can go on your way. But that will be at the end of the video. Also, we're also going to cover Bank of America is refusing to take any more $1 bills if they're scuffed or worn. Is this potentially a new war on cash too? We'll hit that before the end of the video as well. All right, so let's start off where you want to, or if you're looking for a job, if you know other people who are looking for a job. Now, remember, we're not just looking for, people who want work. We want to find people who will do a fantastic job. We want people who are adamant and passionate about the cause that they're placed into. So if you know professionals out there, people who, even pastors or people who would do a fantastic job in a very difficult environment. There's 4,000 positions that they need to fill in a whole bunch of different categories, everything from State Department to defense to, keeping us out of wars, right? To labor departments, education departments. There's so many different options out there. There is a website. I'm going to put it in the pinned comment down below so you can check it for yourself. I pulled that right off of RFK's, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s Twitter page. I checked it out myself. 4,000 positions to fill. I'm not sure how this is going to work, but you do need a log in, so you need to create an account, and then you can then nominate, and you can endorse nominations, I think, too, in there. Some of you, this is a great way for you to contribute. You can go pull up their LinkedIn pages. You can go research them as best you can to see if you can give a thumbs up or whatever. But this is just really amazing because last time Donald Trump just listened to Beltway insiders tell him who they should staff all of these departments with, right? He just listened to these Washington, D.C. people, and they told him who to hire. And this time around, he's asking us, he's asking you and me to help him fill out these positions. So I really hope that you will take that seriously. If you can come up with a couple names of people to suggest, to nominate, that would be super awesome, and then help endorse or raise questions about people that need to have questions raised out. So that is pretty exciting news out there. Like I said, down in the pinned comment. This is from Southern Gent. This is not good news. Thousands of dead fish have washed up on shore in Fredericktown, Missouri. That is just a little ways away from where that lithium battery recycling plant fire near the schools was. Really giving indication that there's a lot of toxins in the water. A lot of poisons have been released by that fire. Maybe a lot worse than what we're being told by the EPA. It's amazing how the EPA will stop all production whatsoever of anything in order to protect a little frog or a tadpole. But when it comes to people, it does absolutely diddly squat to protect people. That's absolutely insane. If you want to nominate me for anything, nominate me to be in charge of the EPA. I will do a good job for you. I'm joking about that, please. I just fire everybody. I just fire everybody. It wouldn't be a very good job. Then I'd be the only one there. Anyway, all right. Possibly one final hurricane may hit Western Florida. Western Florida or the Gulf Coast, all the way over to Mississippi. It's forming. It's south of Cuba right now. It's got a ways to go. The earliest it would be hitting anything is like Thursday or something like that. They're just doing their computer modeling and projections, but it's saying it might get up to hurricane strength and it might hit the Gulf Coast. So we will keep watching that. It might also impact the offshore oil rigs and oil fields out there, so we'll be watching for the economic impacts from that as well. But if you're down that areas, like my parents, let's just keep an eye on that and make sure that if you need to refill your bottled water, if you need to refill your gas, if you need to refill whatever, now is a good appropriate time to do that before everyone else starts trying to do that too, okay? Sweet and Spicy says, James O'Keefe, a fantastic guy from I like his work. Maybe he's not a fantastic guy. I don't know. But he used to do he's still doing a lot of the undercover work and interviews, and he's working with whistleblowers and stuff like that. Well, he interviewed FEMA whistleblower Kelsey Goodman, Hazard Mitigation Emergency Manager. And what she has to say is pretty crazy. They changed their priorities and how they award money given to to different racial groups, different minority groups, and it's creating internal confusion as to how we award this money. And in confusion, the woke people are going to start just doing whatever they want to do. Oh, we're going to give it to these people because they're more deserving, more oppressed. Joe signed Executive Order 14008. The fact that we're up to 14,000 executive orders, which is supposed to be there for just emergency purposes, but we've been in an emergency since the 1940s. It's a constant state of emergency. That basically said, we need to give minorities and disadvantaged communities priority over historical communities that have not received discrimination in the past. So if you have not received discrimination in the past, even if you're like 5 years old, if your community has not been discriminated against in the past, you should get less stuff. Doesn't matter if you're hungry. Doesn't matter if we could help you. We're going to make sure we give that to other people who deserve it more. Though that came from the Justice 40 initiative, and it said that 40% of certain grant funding needed to go to these quote-unquote disadvantaged communities to address environmental justice in minority populations and low-income populations. Congressman Matt Gaetz wrote a letter to Mayorkas. Yes, this is still Mayorkas. He's like literally at the center of every single one of these awful things. Matt Gaetz is investigating that now. The scandals just... The fact that the media doesn't get upset about these scandals doesn't mean that they're not awful, awful things. You've been listening to Patera, you've been listening to Pinball, you've been listening to Bear Independent, you've been listening to these other people on the ground in these areas, and they've seen the impacts of these policies. These are not some, oh, well, that's not cool. This is impacting people's lives. And people don't get that. They're playing games in the Capitol and they don't realize their impact on people's lives. Or if they do realize that, they don't care. And those people need to be transplanted down to the disaster zones, and they need to be given a shovel, and they need to be put as part of a chain gang or something. I don't know. Anyway, getting a little upset, am I? Sorry. A bunch of you guys are like, preach it, preach it. Melissa says, update, Cincinnati, Ohio. This is troubling. Daniel Carter Beard Bridge, which is a weird name. I'm sure it's from somebody deserving. Well, it shut down due to fire damage. Why? The only thing under the bridge was a playground and concrete. But yet they had a fire that was so large it melted and twisted 3 large steel beams. Authorities have no idea what caused the fire. The bridge, nicknamed Big Mac, handles 97,000 cars a day and will be shut down for at least a month, crippling commuters. Unexplained fires popping up all over the country? Question mark. I haven't heard of any other fires, but if you guys know of other infrastructure fires that we haven't heard about, make sure you let us know. Make sure you use that word update, right? Kisara says, Prescott, Arizona, Walmart has no more cans of Keystone meat, and the shelf has been replaced with just Hormel chili in several flavors, of which there are many cans, but nobody seems to be buying. Keystone Meats is disappearing, slowly sliding away. Friends, there are opportunities that you have today that you will not have tomorrow or in the coming future. You'll wish that you had made different choices. I don't have a crystal ball. I can suggest the way I think it's going to go, but if there are things that you would wish to have in the future and you see them on the shelf now, get them if you can, okay? Cindy says, I went to a new St. Louis doctor a couple weeks ago, and I told her that I didn't think I had any doctor prescribe me any antibiotics since the whole 2020 cough. She told me that there is currently a critical antibiotic shortage. First I had heard, but I guess that explains why no one has prescribed any antibiotics to me in the last 4 years. We've been having some off and on kind of antibiotic shortages, but I have not heard that it's mission critical at this point right now. But it could go that way because basically all of those antibiotics are made over in China. Now, a bunch of people are going to be like, actually, it's not just China, it's China and India. Well, the precursors are made in China, and then they get shipped to India. A bunch of them do, whereas India packages them. Now you say, well, what about the ones from Europe and from the United States? Well, they buy the precursors from China and they package them in Europe, or they package them in the United States, and then they're made in the United States or Europe. But really, all this stuff is coming from the same place. The powder is coming from China. If they stop shipping to us, we're going to be in a world of hurt real fast. Do you know how many people would die if China were to just cut off all antibiotic shipments to the United States? A lot more than what our aircraft carriers could do to them in a week. Brian says, yes, our Portage County mailed out Emily's absentee ballot. This is his daughter. Mailed out Emily's absentee ballot on 10/7/24. So plenty of time, right? To Columbus, Ohio. She never got it. Requested another one, and it was mailed out 10/28. She still has not received it in Columbus, Ohio. Lots of reports of absentee ballots going missing. Lots of reports of servicemen and women overseas not getting absentee ballots, even though they're supposed to be supplied to them by their military bases there. Somebody overlooked that. Too interested in doing all of their shenanigans and pride months and parades and everything like that, but they can't get actual ballots to our soldiers overseas. It's a disgrace. Sonia says Chicagoland Aldis are out of grass-fed beef. Confirmed by me and local Aldi Facebook group. Costco has not been able to get grass-fed beef either. And now Aldi is having trouble, at least in the Chicago area. This is something that may be spreading. Nashville Pasta Man says, Halloween night, I could feel strep strep throat coming on. I'm 60. I know when it's starting. I have my Jace case with the antibiotics in it, right? A bit of amoxicillin, and the next morning it was knocked out. In the past, I would make an appointment to get tested, get the test and the script, go to the pharmacy, get it filled, get the antibiotics. I love having a supply at home. Can treat it. Make sure the Jace case also comes with like a phone number or whatever, and you can call the doctor to say, hey, this is what I got, or this is what I think I got, and this is what I want to do, or this is what I should do, and they can tell you how much of a regimen of the antibiotics you should take so that you can knock it out completely. So you can get that medical advice from a real doctor, and that's free of charge. That comes with your Jace case. You're basically also getting those consultations that you need. Marty says, Farmer Steve, me. Thanks for making me feel normal. This is about me having trouble with my Jerusalem artichokes and other things. We're all learning, right? Like you, I only plant what is edible, but like your tree, I purchased 3 pear trees from Lowe's. About 9 years ago, I bought that one tree. I thought it was an apple tree, and it wasn't. Over the years, one tree seemed to struggle and was the runt of the litter. The other 2 grew tall and started producing little pears every late spring, then nothing. Finally, I found out from my extension office this year that the 2 healthy trees were pear trees, all right, but ornamental pear trees. The runt was an actual pear tree. Bummer. One update, went to Costco today in Southeast North Carolina. They had the 5 dozen case of eggs for $10.49 with the Best Buy date late December. I grabbed a box, couldn't believe my eyes. We're all learning, right? And it all's going to be, every time we learn something new, it takes mistakes. You have to make lots of mistakes. And unfortunately, that's just the way things are. So with growing food, we're going to make mistakes. And you just need to commit to that, and that's why you want to make your mistakes now while the grid is still up, while you can still learn from the internet, while you can still learn from your mistakes. You can go to the extension office, you can purchase new trees, but grab those eggs while you can, right? This is along the eggs too. Flyer Patty, before we talk about what's going on with Bank of America and the dollar bills. Flyer Patty says, I've been buying my eggs at Safeway's, Smith's, and gotten some pretty good prices. They seem to have lots of sales, so I just get what I can and I'm good. However, I went to Sam's Club yesterday and there were hardly any eggs there, and they were extremely highly priced. That section is always full of eggs when you go. There was very few amount of eggs. Didn't look good to me. Arizona along the Colorado River area. We're hearing a lot of outages. I'm hearing people saying good prices on eggs, and then I'm seeing other people saying that there are no eggs. These are spotty outages that are happening all over the place, but you never know when your area is going to get hit. And when it gets hit, we see prices spike. So when you see eggs, stock up on them. This is a good idea to get some frozen. You can water glass them if you do it properly. Store-bought eggs have to be oiled before they get water glassed, okay? Because they have the protective shell stripped off. So freezing is the easier option for store-bought eggs. Don't water glass them unless you've researched how to water glass store-bought eggs, okay? You got to do it with mineral oil or some other oil. You got to coat them first before you water glass them. A-Town says, Bank of America to stop accepting damaged $1 bills. So what are you supposed to do with damaged $1 bills? If you can't take them to the bank, what are you supposed to do with them now? Well, Bank of America, one of the largest financial institutions in the United States, has declared that it will no longer accept damaged $1 bills starting in November this year. This policy change is not a blanket ban on $1 bills, but specifically targets those that show signs of wear and tear. The bank will be more stringent with bills that are torn, cut, discolored, or exposed to moisture, refusing them at branches and at ATMs. Is this the next war on cash, friends? Is this, are other banks going to follow suit? And if so, then you can get stuck with those $1 bills. There are ways of doing that, supposedly. But I mean, do you go to the Federal Reserve? Like, how are you supposed to get to them? Usually you go through your bank to get to them, right? And if your banks aren't going to accept those $1 bills anymore, you're kind of up a creek without a paddle. So this is a concern out there for sure. So if you got $1 bills that have tears and stuff like that, once it starts with $1 bills, then it's going to go to $5 bills, and it's going to go to $20 bills, $10 bills. It's going to go up the chain. They do this in other countries where the damaged bills, you can't use them for anything. So what you have to do is you have to take those dollar bills and you have to unload them on somebody else. It's like hot potato, okay? So that's one solution to do. Go to Walmart and pay with the $1 bill that's damaged. And hopefully they'll accept it. Other countries, like I said, they play this game all the time. You try to unload your damaged bills on anyone you can, and the bigger the store, the more likely they are to accept it. So that's what you do. The smaller the vendor or whatever like that, they're like, I don't want that, you know. So, all right, friends. If you want to get some more information from Genesis Gold about what you can do with your retirement account, there's a link right there. If you want to help with the nomination process of appointments in the Trump administration, that's down in the pinned comment down below. And if you want to check out another video from his channel, there's one right up there. Thanks so much for watching. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report out.